It's my money and I want it now.
You got to call the general, though, not WWWJG Wentworth.
For all those listening, it's about time
No,
we got to
that's for
fuck you
great
up with some
insurance.
truth.
To save on time, go to the general and save some time.
Yeah, but then you called Jake from State Farm, who we talked about on one of those episodes, that Bryce thought that farmers insurance wasn't real. And then you got to fucking, just like everyone who wants to argue and yell, guess what? 6 minutes in, he realizes that the "we are farmers" dun, 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 was actually a joke.
Has to do with
Cassidy,
the subject agriculture.
Cassidy, thank you for getting it. I appreciate you.
Sure,
That's why
for
you're
sure.
the host and you run the ship. So thank you, my captain.
Hey, I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Tell her I'm on the way. Tell her I'm on the way.
Hello again and welcome to the Vible, episode 50, presented by VIBELAND Media. My name is Cassidy Fletcher, your host, and the antibiotic-resistant bacteria of this viral hit. I'm once again joined by my co-host, Reed Linus.
I am the doctor that gives 50 Cent that medicine that he just described for all the beef and burns that he's about to get with Vibeland.
Ooh,
I think on
Bryce
episode
Crawford.
50
And
we start beef with 50.
I'm the guy who signs 50.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, inner squad beef, even better.
Today we've got a very special episode, guys. We made it to 50. Made it to episode 50. So we're going to reminisce about some of our favorite moments from the first 49 episodes, plus bonus pods.
How we did it.
Bro, can I just say that the 50 thing clicked for me like about 10 seconds later?
Bro, what do I have to do with this kid? I swear. He's older than me. I
He'll
can't
figure
beat
it
him
out.
up, and he's allegedly smarter. This fool got a 801 on his LSAT or some shit.
This is
'Allegedly.
53 or
Goodness
whatever,
gracious.
158, 182, whatever the fuck the
Shit,
score
anybody
is.
who knows how to pay an Asian can do that.
Yeah. Well, I saw you study.
Well, I
though.
think they do a lot better than 800.
I was with you, and Asians can teach you mind games, but they can't teach you LSAT games.
No, they can take the test for you, though.
so.
Oh, you bastard. You
We
did that?
are also on video for anyone who's listening to this out there that doesn't know, that wants to check it out, what's actually going on here in VIBELAND Studios. Check it out. We're on YouTube. You can check out our YouTube page in the episode description. We'll have the link right there, along with all kinds of cool stuff for you.
That's another thing. Merch.
Stay tuned. Coming soon, I'm sure.
Z4billionaires.com.
Guys, it's episode 50 again. We're just gonna kind of roll with what we liked, what we learned, some of our favorite moments from the first segment of this podcast. So let's get into it.
May I just start? What was the very political the Just Go Vote one?
Oh yes, right before it was
Right
early November.
Wasn't it like the day before?
It was like
Tuesday
yeah,
vote day?
the Oklahoma elections, though, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It was state elections.
But do you remember what song I played? Go
I'm not-
Shawty, it's your
Oh,
birthday.
yeah, okay.
But then I coined it in the text. I said,
Oh, yeah.
Go Shawty, it's vote day. We're going to vote like it's vote day or something corny, right?
That was episode 10, by the way.
Yeah. But it was corny because I had to make it corny because so is Go Shawty, it's your birthday.
True.
We're going to party like it's your birthday. We're going to sit. I know it, right? Because it's corny. So I tried to match 50 Cent. And obviously we did better. So it's 1-0 right now. 50 is losing on episode 50. That's double barrel shots at your 50. That's a dome piece. Just kidding.
And do you know what the Roman numeral?
I just start rapping, bro. I don't know. It's weird.
You know what the Roman numeral for number 50 is?
Something with an X and V's and stuff.
It's in big L. So again, once
That's
again,
the one thing I didn't want to
50.
say on this nation. Oh, big L to 50.
There we
See,
go. now we're all catching
now
on.
Bryce is spreading
See,
stuff on
I'm trying to go with the flow, and then I get to get this kind of feedback.
Can we get
guys.
this? Can we get this out here right now? That for everyone listening, I'm infected with like a spider bite and poison ivy that's now spread to
nasty.
Bryce and maybe to everybody in this
Fucking
house.
don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I spread it to you, not you did it to me.
It is kind. I know, but
Unless
it
you've
is
been doing
kind of
some
spread
weird
to me.
shit while I've been sleeping. Because it's some weird place.
One of my favorite.
This is a new chair, and it's sinking on me. So
We've had a lot of renovations. What were you going to say?
We have made a lot of renovations around here. That's one of my favorite things. Undoubtedly, the studio. Shout out, mixed by A-Ray, for setting up a lot of his equipment here in the studio, and joining what we're doing here on our project, which is incredibly exciting to have an audio engineer of his capacity join, the Z4 $sign, brand.
How did we meet A-Ray? I forget.
Shit,
Can you remind me?
I think we met him out at the Greens, out at the country club. Yeah,
Yeah, he was a bartender.
is that where we met him first?
Dude, do you remember meeting him for the first time? Do you really be honest with me? Because I do.
I don't know if I've even heard this story, so I'm interested in
You
it.
haven't heard this?
I don't
You
think
haven't
so.
seen this or read about it?
I missed it in the blog post.
It would have been on Jay Leno.
we
if
talked
he wasn't
about
canceled.
music. We talked about the Criterion.
Yeah, but do you remember when he first said hello? He was like, he's like, what's
Hello.
up? He's like, what's up, guys? You guys want some drink? Like, I know it's a bad impression, but basically he's just super chill guy that like you think he has no emotion, but when he talks, it's loud.
Oh yeah,
But stud guy, what we hung out, like went to the studio, his place.
yes.
Met next year, met Janessa, met everyone but Cam, until like a year later.
Whoa, Cam.
And now WoCam is in the building behind the ones and twos.
Which WoCam is about to be the brand for his videography work that he's doing on this episode.
Mm-hmm.
WoCam.
Well, and also and also speaking of one of the artists, this artist will be coming on soon. But I know we all love him, Coach Tev, Coach
Yes,
Popovich,
sir.
and WoCam is one of his songs.
Yes.
WoCam, I don't know.
From,
Hold on,
I
team.
Fell in Love with
I
My
just know.
Mistress,
Hold on,
right?
team. Yeah, WoCam, yes sir.
Damn, Whoa Cassidy.
Yeah. Hey, WoCast knows. Don't let him
Hey.
speak at you because that's the
Damn.
last person you're talking to before you get WoCammed.
So, what were some of your guys' other favorite moments from?
So I think something that surprised me was how the music segment kind of evolved.
Yeah.
And we've ended up getting so many good musicians on that people were hitting us up on our Instagram page saying, hey, can I be a featured song? Can I feature my song on your podcast?
Huge compliment.
Yes, and I mean that's exactly what you want to hear. And so I said, well, screw that. Screw playing one song. Why don't you come on and, we'll do a full artist feature with you.
They have like a Beats One type.
Yeah, and we ended up getting in touch with
Yeah, dude from Oakland.
California.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Bay Area. Shout out to the Bay Area.
and so that was just something that was really cool. I thought that was just one of the examples of the ways that we were able to reach out. TJ Marion, by the way.
Yeah, shout out TJ. Shout out. I love
That was
that, and I
episode
think it's a
43.
good.
Any relation to Sean Marion? Did we know or establish that at all?
No relation to
I
Sean
don't
Marion.
think
Okay.
so, but
However, I think that's one of the things that I love about VIBELAND is the fact that we stay true in that regard and will continue to do so by putting on for artists that simply just need a platform to be represented. And we have a place that we are curating some interesting content and spinning off podcasts, and I think that that's incredibly exciting for sure. And so
100%.
I'm proud of us for, some guy who probably messages everybody, that a lot of people on Instagram or
Sure.
whatever. We listened to some of his stuff. We said, hell yeah. I
We were
remember
feeling
Reed
it,
saying, I remember Reed saying, this is still that guy. It's like 4 or 5 songs in. And we're like, yeah. It's like, all right, get him on the pod.
The dude has a lot of different sounds, and that's you brought up like the platform that we're using right now, Instagram. Shout out to them for now, but essentially we're gonna flip a social media platform like that upside down. But the fact that because the reason why I have a problem with Instagram, and we've all come across it, small businesses, individuals, medium business, whatever, right? You try to get out there, you send DMs. Us three, I know for a fact we've sent over 200 DMs each. But how many people respond? Right? So we are that 1% or 5% that respond back.
That's right.
So if we have not gotten to you and you're listening to this, please do not be salty. We've been crazy busy
Hit
to the
us
point
back
where
up.
we are salty because we're sweating.
Yes.
It is literally just don't feel sorry for us. We got your back. We'll hit you up.
But yes, if you have reached out at some point, and again, if you haven't heard back from us, please reach out again. Just send us a reminder, something. If we haven't answered it
911.
yet, it might have fallen through the cracks somehow. And there's so much happening here at VIBELAND on a daily basis that sometimes little things like responding, something so easy as just typing in a message, gets pushed to the wayside.
It's because we're using our phones for cameras,
making business calls,
everything.
I mean, yeah,
That's why I
recording.
made a joke when I pulled my computer. I was like, I guess this big thing still works.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like I haven't seen my computer in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like you guys know, this is a pretty special thing.
Mm.
And I know y'all's is as well for different reasons.
I need a new one. I'm just waiting on this thing to crap out on me, and
But speaking of
hopefully
tech-
it's not soon.
So speaking of tech, touching on what you were talking about, the breakdown of music, I think that was really cool how we transformed from Matt's
Yes.
episode.
Which
shout
shout out to Matt
Yeah.
We
Swagnew.
gotta
Big
do
time
another. We
shout out
gotta do
to
another
Matt.
one.
It's
Yeah.
time,
Oh, yeah.
bro. As soon as he's ready to drop waves.
By the
No,
way-
he's gonna be here.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
The
Live in studio.
There we go.
Sometime between May 8th and May 5th.
Oh, is he surprising me on May 5th?
Oh, I don't know.
He's getting here May 8th.
Dude, don't put that on record.
Bro, you know I have people following him, right?
You know, read it.
I know where he's going at all times.
So that was episode 8. Matt Swagnew and Z4$ interview Sleepers for Billionaires.
But shout out to
which-
T as well. Like,
Yes,
you know,
T came on. You, Reed, obviously, were
dude,
on
I
as
was
well.
nervous. That like you know how nervy it is, not only to one, like have a new company, that you're just telling your business partners that you went in with all in and music. Because they obviously trusted us from the jump doing this whole thing. It was just kind of like, wait, you're trying to do what? Just like everyone else and our moms and dads and grandfathers that
And if you remember, that was only the second interview that we had ever done on the Vible. The first one being a bonus pod with the Lot brothers. And Thomas
and you
Lott.
killed that one. Like we basically
Man, that
And
one
we
was-
did it
You wanna
on
talk
Red
about-
River Showdown weekend.
Yes, bro.
Let's
You want to talk
go.
about the most? I'm getting chills right now because I overcame the fear of getting on the mic. Shout out to Cassidy, coached us up.
Yes,
For those that are
undoubtedly,
listening.
shout out Cassidy, who had some experience with this sort of stuff coming in, but not really in many other regards that you're picking up a lot of slack in. Like, shout
mean-
out for you for training us up. Episode 1 through 50, like you are still our guide. You teach us every episode. We learn something. We debrief. We talk about what we could do better, and it's so valuable.
I just think it's funny because on episode 4 was our
Yes.
first interview. That was with Thomas Lott.
Well,
or
it was technically a bonus pod, but yes, it was our
My
fourth
bad,
ever
yeah.
pod that we
Fourth
put out.
ever pod, bonus pod, and Red River Shootout. We had the Lott brothers, so Chris, Alex, Thomas, or we call him TL or
Yes.
Thomas Lott the third, and then the fourth. There's a lot of Thomas
And
Lotts.
really-
But anyway, I left Cassie out to dry on the interview, and he just ran the whole thing because I was so scared to hop on the mic. I was supposed to ask questions on that one.
Man,
I just got so nervy,
You've grown
bro.
so much since
now you gotta
then.
tell me to
That's
shut
the
crazy
fuck
to
up,
think
man.
about. And we
Yeah.
all have. But man, I just now I
Remember
know what you're
that?
talking about.
I was sitting
you were
right
sitting
here.
in
That's
that
right.
chair.
That's right.
Right here,
Man,
freaking
that's
out.
real talk for
I
sure.
do remember that, man.
And
That's-
now you got Jay Laurent.
No, yeah, Kevin Durant and Jay Laurent coming to a game near you at FC Energy or Energy FC.
Hell yeah, with a
So-
lot of great local art.
Another thing that I, thought was fun in the making of this podcast, kind of the behind the scenes side of things. When we first started recording, we would just come in here. It'd be random. It could be 2:00 on a Tuesday. It could be 5 p.m. on a Friday. It could be 4 a.m. on a Saturday.
And for those who
after
don't
we were
know
still
us,
up.
we're some random individuals.
Oh, yeah. And so anytime that we could get into the studio, if there's something that we thought we wanted to talk about, we would go record. It might be 20 minutes. It might be an hour and a half. And from that, we did that probably 5 or 6 times.
Dang, and you still have those, don't you?
They're somewhere. All those original
You
recordings.
better burn that computer before I do.
Oh, man. So those first ones, though, I just remember we were going to drop 3 episodes to open up the podcast. And we wanted to do it with a big drop. And at first, remember we had the pillars.
Yeah, it was gonna be
Sports,
yep,
culture, and business and
Yep.
technology.
Yep.
And so we were going to alternate. Every other episode was going to be that. And we were eventually going to get to where, we were going to have one of those a week.
figure it
or
out.
Yeah. And so that
But yeah,
quickly
rotate.
went to the wayside, though. I thought we did a pretty good job early on. We touched on some sports stuff. We quickly realized that should be its own spin-off everything, and then immediately kind of pivoted away from sports. And at that point, I think that's when we started really
That was the
finding our
freedom.
stride. Yes, because we didn't feel like, we got to throw sports in here this time or whatever. No, it's like, okay, we can focus more on culture and business and technology. We went more in on the blockchain stuff, more in on data, on
things that we're
anything.
maybe a little more familiar with. I know
Exactly.
that you love sport. We all love sports,
Less
to be
repetitive,
honest with
I
you.
guess.
But now that we had a lot of people that were passionate about sports that were around us, Kelby Peterson, Todd Miller.
Yeah.
And they wanted to start a podcast along with Cassidy.
And now it's got more views than us.
Boom.
And we have 50 freaking episodes.
Vibeland Sports,
Bro,
shout
you want
out.
to talk about inner beef? Y'all are 50 Cent and we're Ja Rule.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, I said that wrong.
I don't care. I'll be Ja Rule and you be
Wait.
Fire Festival.
Yeah,
So
you know what? Yeah.
Who am I? Because
let's take
I'm
the fall.
in both.
I'm taking the
I think you're
fall.
Jay-Z.
Oh.
We're still trying to figure out what the fuck you're doing on both sides right now.
He's
Okay.
creating the Black
But
Album,
you're
obviously.
also like a CIA implant for your own kind.
No, that's
Basically, you're-
Donovan. Shout out
Yeah.
CTO Donovan.
but
CIA implant.
But really though, it's crazy to see. Like, I completely forgot about VIBELAND Sports because we're thinking about all the 50 episodes. I'm like, oh wow! At one point, we completely threw sports out of the window.
Yes.
What? Probably we did.
The last one
baseball.
we did was baseball after the World
Series, man. And
That was
shout out
October.
Boston Red
That was
Sox.
episode 7.
Damn.
Yes, and then we had a bonus pod
Yeah,
World Series wrap up after episode 9, and so that was like early November, late October, and that was the last time I believe that we really ever touched on sports in the Bible, at least.
Yeah. Here's my hot sports opinion. I think the first time that we got the go-to to not do sports ever again. Thank you, Todd, Cassidy, and Kelby for taking that. But listen to the names of this. After episode 7, I think we went through like still some of the same repetitiveness of going through different sectors. But then we got green energy innovation, caring for your mind and body, who owns your data,
Part 2.
part 2, how token economics will change the world, new age of media,
That sounds
Thanksgiving,
our
like, you get what I'm-
jazz.
like, so we started-
Those were our jazz.
Then we
right
started-
there.
Yes.
That was a sweet spot.
So
that was kind of like the up it.
right.
in gear.
We knew. I think that's when we really found what this podcast was. I felt every week coming in, I was excited just to get in here and talk about whatever we were going to. And around then, I think as well is when we started switching to 2 episodes per week.
Yeah, because when did you moved here September, right?
Yes, September 1.
Wow.
I'll tell you what else I think we did a really good job of was focusing on our local community here in
Yes.
Oklahoma.
100%.
You know, we had the MAPS project, we had the OKC Boathouse District.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently unaired as the Oklahoma City Energy. I know that's on Vibeland Sports now,
But
still in the family.
But
you
that's a great point because I feel like once we drop sports, we focus on community.
Yes.
Straight off with the Vible.
yeah.
And
How many
the
people
roots.
from Boston are following us versus Oklahoma?
Right. And it's the think local, act global,
And hashtag the shit out of it.
and hashtag community over competition.
Yeah.
Well,
And there's a lot of saying please and no thank you.
that's right. This is, maybe not exactly what people want to hear, but I want to know, what was kind of the least favorite parts of what we've done here, guys? What's something that sticks out that you were like, man, that was hard to do? Or
I know we've had some where we've gotten out of the room and just like put the mics or the headphones down and we just all dispersed.
yes.
It's just because we were just disappointed at ourselves. It was still new.
We're all hard on ourselves, and
Yes.
shit.
You know how hard it
overly.
is to just talk and know that whatever you say is going to be out there forever?
You
Yeah.
never had a mic in front of your face before.
Have you ever had the guts or the courage to say something into a mic and leave it out there for forever?
Yeah. Then
If you haven't, come on to our show. And if you don't prefer to, then just remain staying at home and swiping right. Or left.
For
whatever you wanna
me,
do.
I think it was personally the holiday episodes.
See, I like that. I love talking about like
Yeah.
my family practices.
See, I thought those were some of the easiest ones that we had, honestly.
But to your point though, I hated anything that regarded history because I hate, and this is where Cassie gave me feedback, so I started doing it in one of the episodes, probably like 24. Yeah, planes, trains, and self-driving automobiles.
You ask good
But since then,
questions,
I
eh?
would just like free it. I would either have a shit ton of questions written or everything that I wanted to say, and then it turned into no, I want to say this and talking over, but it was just what we broke it down to, and Cassie did it the best was this is a basketball team, and I'm gonna pass you the ball, and you can either shoot the ball or you can pass it back or you can pass it to the next guy, and he can pass it back.
The basketball analogy was everything for me. Learning how to podcast and learning our dynamic, and
Like that was just-
we could make reference to basketball and we can know what one another was talking about.
Yes.
Right,
Like,
that was
hey,
just a
give
pick
me an
and roll.
assist there, or like, hey, I'm throwing you an alley-oop, bro, and you don't know I'm throwing it to you. You
Yeah.
know?
So who's Wessel Westbrook? Who is that dude?
Russ?
the man who
Yeah, out
runs
of us
Oklahoma
three.
City.
If we really want to get big about this, is the big three of OKC, right? Us three right here.
I wouldn't say, yeah. I'm
Okay.
not sure that anybody is who I could define as a Russell Westbrook necessarily. I'll say that I'm a Bryce Crawford.
I like that.
I'm gonna say I'm the fucking the guy that cleans up all the wet shit on the hardwood
The
floor.
squeegee guy. Yeah,
I'm
big
there
squeegee
so you
guy.
can your sneakers can fucking squeak and annoy the shit out of fans.
There we go.
And Cassidy's the guy who has the earpiece in that's directly dispatched to Roger Goodell.
Yes. Only.
Hey, we did allegedly we did fix the tech whatever else game. I think it was
So-
like baseball or something.
Oh.
And that was like the basketball championship.
Yeah, the tech game.
Yeah, they blew it still.
I don't want to incriminate anyone any further there.
No,
so.
Action Bronson quoted that in one of his songs. I fixed the
So
game
you
against
know it's
Miami
true.
of the University of Ohio.
He says Georgia State and Grambling.
Yeah, he does. Fact
But,
checks.
you know.
Big fact check.
Hey, one train. You can come in with some one train.
Dude, what we
like-
need to do going forward is like do fact checks and how many times like I mess up or Bryce drops something. And just like, so on today's pod, Bryce is at 27 drops of this week with no strikeouts and 3 runners left on. The 3 runners left on are like the beers on the table or a drink or my clothes in the dryer or on the floor or whatever. No.
Don't do
Hey, look, I'm all for ideas here. This is an open space. We can talk. So
Let us know what you think. Do you guys want live update stats
I'm gonna
of like
just-
phone
you know
calls?
what?
Yep. That's what we do. Over the
Sorry,
shoulder.
everyone.
And he didn't spill salt. Don't get it twisted. He just threw it over his shoulder.
I'm over here. We're putting our stuff on Do Not Disturb before we start. We were putting our stuff in airplane mode, and then I'm over here just like an idiot.
Because he's
So
still.
I apologize.
Well, how do they call you then? Because you got that wad.
Yeah, because I didn't do any of it. 'Cause
Got
I'm
that
a-
sweet wad.
Anyways, so guys, continuing here on with our reminiscing episode of the Vible up here on episode 50. There was kind of a sweet spot, I thought, again, when kind of the 20s there for a little bit. So
That's crazy that you said that because I'm looking at. Keep going.
yeah, so we had we started with the regions in episode 18, how Americans' regions unite and divide us. and then the economics of gaming, Love McCoy interview, the ethics of gene editing, and
That was another great stretch for sure. It's
Oh, yeah.
diverse. It's so diverse, man. You go
then we
from
did colors, green energy. I mean,
Colors was an incredible
Evolution
Green
of
Energy.
gaming.
Shout out Ben Gardner. That's that episode.
all the way up
eh?
to the evolution of gaming
Like
in
you guys-
27.
And you guys held it down because I was going back and forth with Dallas at this time.
Mm.
You guys did, like, through these 50 episodes, how many did I miss out on? Like 3 or 4, or is it more?
There was probably a few for I think both of you guys. There's been a few.
So
one
I
way or
set
the
out.
other.
Yeah, I definitely set out. I think the music.
Music interviews.
Anytime that
yes.
I had to.
So I have more playing minutes than Bryce right now?
I would
don't-
say that you do.
Yeah, probably.
I would say that you do.
That Jay Laurent
you
got
missed
me up
like
there.
3, maybe 4.
But
I
and,
bounced
and
back.
some of those were like bonus pods that we did because we were just at the house. Again, something popped up. We saw there's a news story that came out, and we decided we wanted to talk about gene editing because it seemed, it was
Going
relevant.
down for shows when Matt
Yeah.
was still in Dallas before
Yeah.
he left for LA.
And remember, I tried to get on that one. The
Oh
gene
yeah,
editing
you were
one.
gonna call in, but I
'Cause I
think
did
that
research.
We
at
didn't
that time,
have-
We were
yes.
still learning.
I did my research.
So
research.
what ended up happening there is
I was driving to North Park when I got this news, by the way.
yeah, we have the ability now to do phone interviews, which almost
Evolution.
all of our interviews on VIBELAND Sports are phone interviews because we're talking to people that are all over the place, and
happen.
now we've also started integrating those into the Vible as well. Our last couple of interviews we've had have been phone interviews with Jay Laurent and Joanne Jansen.
Crazy.
So
David Meltzer.
David Meltzer was another great one.
Yay.
I mean, we've had some
And
really,
shout out
really
to-
good
And Rex,
and
like,
phone interviews that
Rex Burkhead.
talked
yes.
to.
your cousin's a freaking, I don't know what, a warlock?
Yeah,
What do you call someone that makes, like, magic happen?
I think a
Yes.
witch. Yeah,
A wizard?
But
Like, what's like a
we didn't
wizard
have that
at?
ability at the time. Is the
We did it.
moral of that story. So
I just jumped a whole, bro, there's so much going on because we still have 30, 40, 50, and still 1 through 10.
So yes, Katie definitely did a great job on getting some incredible guests for us on the podcast, including Jay Laurent and Joanne Jansen. If
before-
that's what you were getting at.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to, I think I just pulled a Reed and cut Cassidy off again, and I'm now in a ditch, and he's not helping me get out.
yeah, I'm just gonna call the tow truck. We'll see him Tuesday.
But anyway, back to 20. We had some good ones. Like we had Mansions music.
Oh,
Hey.
shout out
You
to
know.
Paris.
So
First artist we met here in
Shout out
Oklahoma City.
Mansions.
crazy story about all that. If you haven't heard it, go to episode 23. What's the one? And then Johnny Tsunami and Lonzo, the first one.
Yeah,
Um,
Johnny Tsunami.
Which
But
that was
also
a really good one
legend.
as well.
Paris
These were-
Cariz.
Hey,
In the
shout out
20s
Paris
on that
Riz,
too.
yeah.
we also had Ben Garner on that Green Energy Innovation Part 2. I think that was our first phone interview that we ever did. Or I say the first. We did it with Thomas Lott,
yeah.
and to off the jump. But that was the first one I think we did with equipment
Yes.
where we were
Yes.
actually able to use it.
Dang, I don't know why Ben's in. I
Like
thought he was
running
in
through
the
the
30s.
interface.
I thought he was in the 30s.
Yeah, we talked to Ben early on. That was that's been 4 months now.
Dude.
Now we did do 2 Green Energy episodes, if I'm not mistaken, and I love that doing part 2s to the things that we want to hit on again. Like we'll do
Yeah.
part 2, part 3, part 80. Man, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, seriously, especially on some of this blockchain stuff. The more that that the applications of blockchain continue to develop, and the people are finding unique ways to implement it into everyday services. I think we could easily have those episodes just continue for eternity.
Those
Yeah.
are
Like,
undoubtedly some of my favorite episodes.
That's
These
historic.
technology and blockchain episodes, I love that. And those episodes are undoubtedly my favorite. And some of the other things that I appreciate about what we've done so well is involve our community, our network so organically. Robert Cho, hell, down to my, to my mom. We've used, say my Uncle Jamie, who came on episode
Yeah.
40, who's a reverend,
We've pretty mu-
evangelical pastor.
We pretty much milked the Crawford and What's your mom's maiden name?
Stow.
Stat.
Yeah.
Have we milked those families? Is it like our turn to go through our families?
No, there's a lot.
Your family's awesome, man. Like really.
But shout out for all and Michael Armstrong's Severe Weather. You
Mm.
know, here in Oklahoma, that was another great episode.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. And yeah, that's I've just been very pleased with the way that we've continued to grow and evolve throughout this entire process. Again, we've had some serious changes along the ways.
The government shut down.
Yeah, I mean, heck, I remember when we started this thing, we were on that little white table, the folding
The
like
picnic.
plastic table. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a picnic table.
Which we stole from my mom's house.
Yeah. Sorry, Gina.
Just-
or mom.
Yeah, set
Sorry,
up
Dr.
in the
Mom.
middle of this room, and we just had chairs around it, and we had some kind of clamps for our mics, and we had just got the new mics, the Shure mics. We were like, man, we're ready to roll. We set everything up. We got that new interface. We set it right there, and we recorded quite a bit. Just from that setup alone. I mean,
Yeah.
we had that little black card table as well that we used for a long time.
And we thought we were. And then Johnny came in with the desk.
And then we got the
Donated?
desk.
Yep.
And then from there, that changed everything. And once again, we were able to kind of reconfigure the room. And now we're in this full-on studio
I
that
never
is
thought-
again, yeah, we're gonna change it here in the near future.
It's got a sectional.
It's incredible.
Like what? Who has a sectional in a studio? I guess a studio.
Every studio that's
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah.
So this is just this has been an evolution here from even where we record, what we're recording on, we're the different equipment and everything. So I've just loved to see the growth from every single episode. I can tell that, okay, 5 episodes ago, we sound much better than we did, or the point that we made, we couldn't have done it 5 episodes before.
Right.
And so that's what I've really enjoyed,
Dude, I
is
see it-
seeing that growth.
Seeing
I see
the
it like
growth,
a
yeah.
stock, like a
Yeah.
trade. Like we were like 0.00001 for like 1, and then 2 and 3 we got enough value because we just threw ourselves in the water.
Oh, yeah.
And didn't touch it allegedly. But anyway, the whole thing is frick. That I think looking at the stock chart, you can see the emotions. I mean, a lot of things between episode 1 and 10, or 1 to 15, a lot of stuff went down in the United States of America, in the world, that messed with our energy. And so the fact that we stuck together through all the like negativity that the media is bringing, and we still fought through to give a positive message when we went through a whole month of like, not only was it a shit day at the office, but also there's a shit day on TV when you get home. And by the way, you work at home and you live at home, and it's just been a shitty
Your
month.
wife's at home.
Yeah,
But
for those
fighting
that
for that
don't know, real
positivity.
quick though, side note for our viewers / listeners, we all live here.
Yeah.
This is the studio.
Vibeland
in-
HQ, baby.
Yes, in Vibeland HQ. This is Vibeland Studio, but I mean one of these walls around here is one. It's my room, like literally right next to it. Other side of the hall, we got Reed, Bryce right below. Both
Reed
of us.
bumping music in the studio at 4 a.m. while Cassie's sleeping, and he wants to kill me, so we had to get soundproof walls.
Yeah, thankfully we do have some nice soundproof walls, and it's going to be even more soundproof soon. But the point is, we have everything that we do it under this roof. And so for us to like get out of this, I don't even know if I want to call it a bubble, but sometimes it can be a
It's a
bubble.
jail cell
Yeah, like
that we built ourselves.
exactly. Whenever we go out into the world, sometimes I'm still a little, disoriented because you see some of this. I
Dude,
think
now
it's
it's
easier
even
to
going
see through the crap.
downstairs.
Yeah.
Now it's even going downstairs. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I forgot this. I was in the studio for, 12 hours.
Right.
I know you can relate already, but I'm sure that this studio is nicer to work in than
Oh man.
the jail
So-
cell that we moved you to Rikers Island, buddy.
I know
Especially it
you.
was in that corner, and like
And you
then you guys took my lamp away, so like I'm having to sit a foot from the get right up next to the
Have you guys ever seen like any Hunchback of Notre Dame movie where like they lock him up and they shine light on him to feed him bread? That's what Cassidy kind of looked like when we took. But I mean, bro, you want to talk about the MVP of the first 50 episodes?
Bro, editing
Cassidy,
out all of our
1000.
bullshit, I would imagine, took a lot. You know,
Yeah.
we went through a large
Jeez.
training curve on the mic, undoubtedly, and we still are. We're still
Yeah.
gonna keep learning, man.
Hey, every day I want to learn something new.
You know what I mean?
Every shooter still needs to practice his jump shot.
But without the confidence in the direction, we definitely wouldn't have made it past, fucking 15. So
What does Michael Jordan say? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right.
And I felt like I know it's a cheesy thing, but so is Just Do It. And we got up and did it. And we don't walk it. So everyone that's listening out there, yes, we talk about things. We love to talk about it. Hopefully that you've gotten these 50 episodes is we don't bitch. We try to find a solution. If we don't know the solution, Cassidy says in every episode, and the link in the description below will guide you to this, this, and this.
I know who the link is, and I know who the solution is, and it's the doctor.
Oh, yeah. They don't even know about the doctor.
He's the prescription. He's the subscription.
Don't
he's
even say his first name.
Duh.
Duh.
Love. The Love. Oh, I guess it is The Love. The Love Doctor.
The love.
I like it.
We can
I mean-
combine it into one. The love.
Dude, I mean, we're talking about people that we've increased over time. And this is where I wanted to ask y'all. Did we get better or did we just shift our energy towards a more positive mindset to where we got better at being ourselves and then in return we got replenished back?
Both, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, good. It was a dual-ended question. Congratulations, you got that one, dude.
I beat Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Hey.
That no one knew that there was both at the top right corner in very, very fine print. If you don't know, go look at it. It's at like 1733. It's at the top right, and it's in very fine print. It's called "Go Fuck Yourself." You can just push that button whenever you want.
Here's
So-
the bus, and you're under it.
Yeah.
So,
Thrown that
speaking of Bandersnatch, I thought that was an interesting episode. We really, really went down the rabbit hole with Bandersnatch. We watched, I don't even know how many possible solutions and endings, and
As much as life let us.
I mean, seriously, that's why we ended up moving. If you remember, that's why the TV downstairs is what it is now, because we couldn't
Dude, I don't-
select off the Apple TV.
That's a weird
Remember?
show.
So we had to
Yeah.
get the curved TV. We had to switch it
Yes.
from your room, Bryce, and that's why that's
Made a
still the
choice.
TV. Exactly.
Someone dropped the Apple TV remote, and the Apple TV was glass, and it shattered, and it broke and didn't work or something. It could have been me, but I know Bryce dropped it at least twice.
I think Elliot ate it.
I
That's
think
the
I
ultimate.
think I had 3 drops on the Apple TV remote, so I'll take fall for this one.
Okay.
But
But just know next time
You
we're gonna
coming
have an
for-
Apple TV. No, you already think I'm coming for you.
the Bandersnatch, like, I don't know, the way that it was presented, I felt was something I'd never seen before in television or movies, whatever it was, and that was a really fun thing to just kind of explore.
Well, give them your background because I mean, you're not just some guy that watches TV shows and movies. Like you know the producer, you know the books, you've read the books. Like when you say it's a great, like when you put your name on it, that's not something lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I've always really been into, especially on the like science fiction or fantasy elements in stories. Growing up, when I was a kid, I was reading Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, and those were some of my favorite books growing up. And then when Game of Thrones came out, started really following that, and the show got me to start reading the books. And I haven't read all the books, but I intend to down the road. But I thought what Bandersnatch was able to accomplish was something, I mean, truly just extraordinary. The fact that we had the choices that we were making with just a simple yes or a no or a left or a right or a whatever on your, just pushing a remote on your screen.
And you had to rush. You had like
Yeah.
5 seconds. If
You
you're doing
had-
it as a group,
It's like time to make this decision. Which way do you go? It was so interesting seeing
you're turning on people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you do it?
the way that different people would go through the same scenario but would play it totally different. And it could veer. It's because it's all based on your accumulation of choices and how many times you've looped back to the same one and stuff. I mean, it was so complex, and there were so many branches and hidden endings, and just props to everyone at Black Mirror, because
100%.
they are
We want to be sponsored by them.
geniuses. But I thought that was a really fun one to be able to sit down and talk to after we had just kind of immersed ourselves in it for 2 or 3 days straight. I remember that morning waking up early to watch it through one more time, like on a quote unquote speed run, just like what's the quickest way that I can get to the end of this. And, it was a great time.
Right. And I felt like we were showing people, different endings too.
True.
We were letting people, we already knew what was, and you guys watched it way more than I did. I probably saw it 20 times. And one of the times I did not want to see it again. And we'll talk about that. Or we already talked about why. But anyway, Bandersnatch, I think we got a lot from it, right? We got, you can either choose yes or no. There's never a maybe. It was always black or white. Is that what you guys got from it? So
I like that about it too.
So can we not relay that with a book to where you read it one way and you flip it upside down and it can be a completely different message? Or can
Well,
we
I
just
don't
do
know about
music
that.
videos Bandersnatch way? Or am I just too deep?
I don't know. It seems like we might have gone to the bottom of this rabbit hole.
We've gone somewhere. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I mean, like, I think it all just comes down to people's perception of the book,
And people's perception
I mean, it's same
of
like
reality.
a podcast.
Language.
Like, what if we just said, hey guys, what's up? And then click this button to go here, click this button to go fuck ourselves.
Okay.
And we kind of led them through a podcast,
The
like
thing
a
is,
Bandersnatch
if we
way.
did that,
Oh,
then
okay.
the problem is you have to, no matter what, it's all an illusion of free will and
Right,
choice.
exactly.
Because even if you give answers, you're the one giving the answers for the listener to choose, or for the viewer to choose.
But you're trusting that the divinity within that person is trusting the path that you.
Speaking
guess-
of
Right,
divinity,
but
Drew
you
out
could
one
make
way?
it. You could make
I
it
don't
to
know.
where it always ends in the same spot, and just
Exactly,
take
yeah.
people down the path you
And
want.
we learned that a lot in Bandersnatch.
Exactly. So I
Speaking
think
of
that's still how it goes.
divinity, it just made me think of like health, wellness, the
Yes.
cannabis episode, CBD, hemp, the various the float tank episode that
That
we
was a good one.
recorded right after we went to the OKC float.
100%.
Shout out them for hooking it
Shout
up.
out to you
Yes.
for the business trip.
And yeah, and then it went amazing. We came back, and I think we
We
did
had
a
a guided
guided.
meditation on that one.
Bro, that was amazing.
That's
wasn't it?
when things elevated, I believe.
We definitely elevated.
I really
so-
do. Because you were like, hey, I want to, like, we're going to the float tank. All you guys need this. We knew about it. Like, we've watched Joe Rogan.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah,
Seen
and if two of us would have went and done it, or one of us would have,
wouldn't
it
have been
wouldn't have
right.
been the same.
No.
Like we all have to be on the same level because it really is. It's like, I'm gonna keep it real here, and it's like taking a decent sized dosage of psychedelic drugs, and it can be really eye opening and consciousness awakening, and you can really get to know yourself quite intimately. And it's healing, spiritual healing, body healing, mind healing.
And isn't healing the number one thing that medicine should do?
Indeed, yeah.
So
Go check out
thank you
OKC Float.
I thank you for all the medicine push. And bro,
The colors episode.
whether we want to give us self credit or not, we're ballsy individuals. To one, team up with each other. 2, live together. 3, do work together. 4, pretty much do everything together. To where, like, not only are we, spreading a message, but then now we literally are synced, as like a triangle. We don't always get along. For those out there that want to start a business, you're not going to get along with your best friend in a year and a half over something small. But it's going to, like, things are going to happen, right? Like, the thing at this point is we all know that we're blood brothers through thick and thin. And if one of us goes, we all go.
Right.
And whether that's to Kansas for like a basketball game, to see OK State beat Rock'em Chalk'em when we're videoing it and Cassie's doing the sports broadcasting live for the first time, or we're just pushing Todd into a lake. We're doing it together. And what I mean by that is just like for those listening, when you're together 24/7, just think of your brother.
100%.
And think about all the times that you guys got into fights
pushing
and
them
stuff.
straight into the lake.
Yeah. Think about. I mean, I know you guys have had that thought about me. Like, just let them know.
I was trying to size up your feet to make sure that I had concrete shoes that fit.
Yeah, they're about like a 10.5 to 12, depending on the day
I got that.
and the shoe.
I got exactly the right blocks for that.
Just make
Good.
sure,
Bro, you
make
go
sure I
full
don't.
savage on it, and you don't even have to get it all specialized and customized. You just break a cinder block, and then you duct tape the cinder back around.
I'm a
Just buy me
professional,
some,
Bryce.
buy me
Come
some
on.
of those like old school Kanye ugly shoes that he wore. I'm sure those will be heavy enough to just plummet me to the bottom.
Oh, so you're gonna come at Kanye now that you're getting cornered,
But I'll come at you too. What's up?
bro? 105 6 and Park.
They don't tell you that you don't need your feet to swim. You need your mind.
So
Isn't that a radio? Yeah.
Yeah, 106 in Park.
Oh, okay, I threw a 5 in there.
That
but fuck
that
it.
was the Bow Wow challenge. Bow Wow used to do that.
106
host
and
it.
Park.
Yeah, before he got the Bow Wow challenged.
So we also had a little stretch there where we talked about the different, like technology that's coming out and the way that we're using it. I thought that like the smart homes of the future and kind of the future of electric vehicles type things. I really like talking about the technology, what it's 20 years from now. How are we going to be transporting each
Yeah,
other?
right.
You know, what is it going to look like 10 years from now when you want to get online? What device are you going to be using? I mean, these are things that
What Uber's gonna pick you up?
yeah, like is there going to be a driver in that vehicle that comes and pick
I
you
think
up?
those
Is it gonna
Probably
be
not.
called Uber?
Those are some of my favorites, and some of them that I think we're the best at. To
That's
be
Yes.
honest
that's what I was
with
gonna
you.
ask because I felt like when we got into this huge tech thing between 30 to 40, that's when it really clicked for us in the community within VIBELAND and everyone that's a part of the movement of, you know, you have Z4$ all the way to Team Jack Foundation to Greenish Jacket Foundation, Free Water Fridays. A lot of these foundations are now kind of like, oh, like that's what y'all been doing this whole time?
I think it too that it parallels kind of what was going on with VIBELAND Inc., the business at that time. We were
Right.
really focusing in, and that was right before the white paper was being updated at that point.
Shoot,
There was
yeah.
all kinds of like it was
Wow.
100% VIBELAND all the time, always
That was
here
stress.
for a good few weeks, and all of our episodes kind of reflected that a little bit. You know, we were talking about the technology that we were using. We were talking about the different possibilities of what things could look like in the future,
Yeah.
because we were talking about it daily. Like, what is this company going to look like in the future? And I think just naturally, that's one thing that if you know all three of us and you have been like around us and everything during this whole 50 episode run, you can kind of probably tell how things were going
Yeah.
based on what, just looking at the titles of the episodes, you can tell what we were focused on VIBELAND wise, because I think it definitely showed in the Vible. Whenever we came to talk about it, that's what our shared experiences were about, and we wanted to talk about what we were living out every day.
Yeah, 100%. And it was episode
Yes.
3. Was it blockchain technology?
Episode 2, blockchain goes
Episode
mainstream.
2. Okay.
Three was
okay.
the first one.
It's time
So,
to party.
shout
in
out-
Oklahoma.
Cyber Party Oklahoma.
Shout out for doing that, because I remember how nervous I was before I
Oh,
started talking
freaking.
about this technology that at the time I didn't have the linguistic
Decentralized.
capability in front of a fucking mic to do. You know, like I was nervous as it was. You put a mic in my face and hit the R button. And then you
Censor
add
read.
the fact I'm talking about the technology in which we're trying to develop upon
Yes.
live. And then you add then
Allegedly.
again that blockchain technology is a complex technology to explain to people in the
Dude, and shout
It
out
is.
to you. You pushed us because we had a couple other ideas like baseball and like let's kind of like do this podcast thing a little light. And you're like, no, if we're gonna do it, like we can do sports first, just to break the ice, but then we're going straight into blockchain tech.
Yeah, that's what this. Yeah.
And then straight into cannabis, because don't you remember when we were planning the first VIBELAND podcast? This is like probably May of last year. Remember we drove to Colorado and we stayed in that hotel room and we bought the mics.
Yeah.
Our first episode, do you remember what it was
I
going
do
to be?
remember that.
It was gonna be based on hemp
Okay.
and cannabis and
Yeah.
CBD. And then I think a week later, that's when Cassie, we started talking, because we were always talking with Cassidy.
It was. We took the
And then-
mics with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then somewhere along the lines, May, June, July, somewhere in June, July, we started talking with Cassidy in depth. And then by September, he was out here. So if you guys can do the math, Cassidy basically just, once he ended his job because he was working at a university, came over. So if you want to know how to quit a job, you just literally, once you walk out, you never come back. That's literally it.
And then
Goodbye.
say, yes.
Like,
Bye-bye.
send an email if you want to be nice, but go up to everyone, shake their hand, say you knew this was coming. I love you. Thank you for your support. And I'll see you in 2 years, 3 years, tomorrow.
Tomorrow
I mean, what's
is a latter day.
What's y'all's advice, guys? Because, like, we got to help people out because we're talking about all of our accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
But other than, like, just sticking to the plan, I mean, let's think about some, like, what did we overcome? Like, what were some obstacles that we did run into on, like, a podcast, other than, like, cables and stuff?
Well, so yes, other than the occasional technical difficulty, which we had another one when we were setting up the studio as it is now.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, things got switched up, and doesn't matter. The point is,
Crisscross.
yes. Outside of that, I would say there were a few times when we would come in and we just didn't have the energy, and we would record an episode, and we'd say, okay, we're gonna delete that and do it again.
Yeah.
And would come right back. There's been a couple of times.
You've
It's only
done
been
that.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But we have said, screw it. That whole recording was awful. We came at it the wrong way, or we were doing this wrong, or what.
And that's an hour or an
Yes.
hour and a half.
We
Of
just
like,
wasted.
yeah.
And
But you need that. And you taught
sometimes-
us that because I know we were like, fuck, like, we're going to have to do a whole nother hour. We got, like, other shit to do. But Cassie literally, like, set the stone. And Bryce, you're right
Kept
behind
the
him.
product good.
Right. Kept it rolling. Kept on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
Oh, it's keep, not cap.
Kept on, kept
What about
on.
Kaepernick? Is he still in the league?
Kaepernick.
Or is he just
on.
sponsored by Nike and just getting paid a lot of money for who knows what?
Nike?
I think being a
on.
spokesperson.
Do we know why he's getting paid all this money?
Yeah, be a spokesperson.
Why
'Cause
let
why?
Sean
Did he allegedly do something wrong?
did nothing wrong?
Anyways, so
But allegedly is another word. A lot of words that we've used I've ran into. Allegedly came from Bryce. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Addicted, which came
Matthew.
from Wolf of Wall Street.
yes.
What are some other words that, like, what's some lingo that we've been using that, like, our fans can, or not fans, just people that, like, are bored and want to listen to us?
Oh, I don't know, man.
Like, just Vibeland? Like, Vibe On was one.
Vibe on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the very first time
Dude, you remember doing the
that we
ad?
recorded something, I kind of just remember saying, I don't know, we might have tried a couple of different things, but I always knew that it was going to be like, have a great day and vibe on.
Because we don't want to do, like, Chive On. Or
Yeah.
something stupid.
Yeah, there was something.
Don't think about what you do. Just do it and then,
Yeah.
right? Figure it
and
out.
Exactly. And that's the way it felt right. And then we just kept going with it. And so that's how the episode, like,
Sink or swim.
it finished. It's been that way to finish every time. And it all came from just kind of, just organically. We were just trying to make sure that we had a way to close out the podcast. And that one just, I always felt that was the best way to do it, especially it's the vibe on, like,
Right.
it made sense.
Yeah.
So,
I have a shoot.
Some of the podcasts that I disliked the most, I suppose, were the political ones,
Government.
and
Yeah.
we quickly realized that we needed to
Stay away.
excommunicate politics from the Vibe.
Quickly, yes. It
more
was
of a
bringing nothing but
community thing.
negativity,
Right.
yes. And now local politics.
I remember you're like, dude, I could have all the light in the world and still dark's gonna shine on this podcast.
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
And you're like, we've had planned week topics and then get down to pre-pro or pre-production and we're like, yeah, this isn't gonna.
Oh, yeah.
But some of the best stuff has happened when you like made the call in the huddle and said, hey, we're gonna do a play action, go deep.
We're running a zone rather than a man now. We're doing.
Right.
We're gonna try something new, and that's
Right.
what I appreciated about. Like, I think you made plenty. We all did of adaptions. I suppose over this period of time, whether that
moving
be
into a
like, hey,
house-
I didn't give you any assists that episode.
Right.
I took my lesson and I learned, but. Ultimately, the structure and the style of the podcast, it changed after the first thing. We decided we could combine those three into one episode, or maybe that was always the intention. I don't remember. But the point is that we were able to try out different things, more comedy, less comedy, more serious, more research, less research, more on the fly, less on the fly. And
Right.
so I think that dynamic was incredibly important and still will be going forward to explore.
Because I remember personally asking you, Cassidy, how you prep. And after I went through you, I went to Bryce to see how he was doing it. And you guys had different ways completely from each other and then from me, to where it allowed me to be like, oh, okay, this is exactly like the way you structure your stuff and the way you write out your questions is exactly what I can combine. I don't write, but I write in my head like I'm kind of a rapper from Dallas, Texas.
God damn it. But yeah, I do feel like that is one improvement that I could make is just like I did on the board, I suppose, today. I just jotted down a few notes that were on the top of my head. They're bullet points that I can hit, or they're thought-provoking things that will remind me of other things. And so they're not researched, read articles from blah, 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 blah. It's just, this is what I'm saying, man.
Conversation. Yeah. It's like, yeah, if you want to talk about something that we said, we're not going to argue it. Let's sit down and let's just talk about it. Voices may rise a little bit, but we have a loud noise control system that will demonetize if it gets over a certain peak of your VBLD.
No.
So they're
I don't know if that was an actual sentence that made, sense in the slightest bit, but
did it?
we'll roll with it.
I didn't feel it. I didn't know. I just
What I'm
said,
saying
yeah.
though is if the voice raises above a certain meter, you're demonetized for raising your voice too loud in the debate. Like yelling. You can be very stern like this, but if you're yelling like this, you're demonetized because it's throwing off the energy. That's just a debate.
You're just
mechanism.
penalized. Cassidy gets to hit a red button that just like locks your mic out for like 15 seconds.
Just
like around the horn, right?
Will you
Boom.
please-
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, will you please get that
yeah,
for
the
me?
mute button, hit the psh.
God knows that you just lean over and grab mine.
Yeah, probably.
So
We have shared mics before on the Vible, so that won't be a first.
that's true. We've had to do that on some interviews for sure.
Dude, Matt's the first
Yeah.
phone interview. Like,
We were able to record in 2 channels, and the only
how
one
do we? Yeah,
I don't even know. Like
you made it happen.
we had to
Google
do some
Talk.
all kinds of
ad
Google
thing.
Voice, and which was, let me tell you, if you're listening to this, your Google Voice and Google Hangouts is garbage. It's terrible.
Is the G for
It's
garbage or
garbage.
Google?
The G is for I'm never using it again.
Okay. The G and again.
Yes, and it was not good. Anyways, now we
ain't
have
good.
the ability to hook up our own phone directly into the board, and that has changed really everything for us. I think on the phone side of things, I've had people tell me that they thought we had someone in the studio that were on phone calls. Now, I don't know how you couldn't tell the difference between the live voice and the
It's
other,
because you're editing, bro. I'm telling you.
but
I know you're still hard on it, but it didn't. It sounds like people are here.
it's a lot just the one cord that we actually have now that makes everything
what
so
is
great.
that cord so people can
It's an XLR to a headphone jack.
don't
so
go
like
to
an
Best
1/8
Buy
inch.
because Cassidy sent me to Best Buy and they're rare, like or they don't carry them. I guess
The exact thing that we needed, we were able to just find it on I think like Amazon for $5 or something, and it was like
yeah.
I think I even signed up for a free month trial of Amazon Prime, so I didn't have to pay the $2 in shipping or whatever. My boy really wasted that shot.
Right.
But the point is, we got that cord in. It was great,
And now we're quote unquote professionals.
and now
and quote unquote lit.
Quote
yeah.
unquote.
now we got
allegedly,
this amazing
quote unquote,
studio
allegedly.
to record it in as
Yeah.
well. So,
But so speaking about all that, what's your biggest high? Like you as the host and the CEO of the Vible, like what was your like LFG moment? Like you just like
Ooh.
you shouted out because I remember for a while when we were down and we were down, like we had to like press the LFG button. If you don't know, it's Let's Freaking Go. When anyone got a huge either we finished something, it's like if you're in sales and there's a bell and you ring it. It was the same thing except we screamed at the top of our lungs LFG. So what was your LFG? G.
man, it might have been like and this is kind of late, but the most recent one, I guess. I think I've had a series of them, but there was definitely one around like episode 36, the Maps project.
That's when you're like, oh, okay, now I'm like touching the city.
Yeah, that's when I felt like we had one of our best conversations. I thought we just walked right in, we split it up how we wanted to, and we hit all the points that we wanted to, and had a loose outline structure, but we followed it, and everything that we wanted to do, we got in there, and that episode could have been like 2.5 hours long or whatever, but it was, decent length. I think after it was all edited and everything, it was 50-something minutes, and
Maybe
I just really liked it. It was our dynamic back and forth conversation.
Maybe we should do more regional stuff then, because I know that, and I don't want to get into regional shit between you guys right now. Don't.
can I?
God damn it, man.
Dude,
if you
okay,
say
I
the
apologize.
Midwest right now.
I once said a long time ago in one of the maps, not the OKC maps, I'm talking about the United States maps, that Oklahoma is considered the Midwest.
It's not.
Cassie, I just want to take time and apologize to you publicly for humiliating your state for so long. It's the Southwest.
I'll take that. I'll
I'm
take
sorry.
Southwest. I'll take Central Great Plains.
Or the South. What
I'll
do you
take-
want? What do you want? You got it.
I don't think it really fits
I
with
got
the
the-
South. And the South would probably tell
Here's
you
the
the same
truth
thing.
about Oklahoma, truthfully, is that it was one of the last statehoods in the entire fucking thing. Like,
What
and it's right in
statehood?
the middle.
and it's Indian territory, bro. Like, Veep just made a savage joke this most recent episode, by the way, about like Oklahoma
Bro, you can't
City.
be
like,
saying native or Indians because that's what I realized about Oklahoma. People say Indian, but in other countries, they should be countries.
fuck do you mean?
Other
I can't
states-
call them Indians.
Other states, there's other Indians that we also work with, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
And like it's just
People
like
from India.
yeah, people from India.
Sure.
So that's
Is it inappropriate to call Indians Indians?
I mean,
Native Americans?
allegedly, if you want to be PC Reed, class of 2009.
Okay. I guess I never really
But
thought about it.
it doesn't
in
matter
that
as
way.
long as
so
you're-
is that derived out of
You're
like
not
I think it was
derogatory it.
well, I guess because now this is I don't want
really-
to speak too much to this because
It's
I'm a
basically-
very white
Yeah.
man and I don't feel like I have a say in this one way or the other. But I think it came from Christopher Columbus being just a
wow
jackass,
That's really
Right.
where it
thinking
came-
that
Man,
he landed in India and
That makes me feel stupid.
That's why they
bro.
don't like the
You know what I
logos,
mean?
or we don't like the logos.
That's why we're revolutionizing
I would say, at
educational
least.
curriculum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, because it was all a hoax. Like Christopher Columbus Day is now called Indigenous Day.
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day.
Should be.
Like, it should be. And they should paint that motherfucker turquoise and put a huge ass, like,
He didn't
$1
do a
million
whole lot of great
turquoise
things for the people that were already here in this
Nor
country.
did George
drop it
Bush,
on
but look
Spain.
what we do for him. You know what I mean? It happens every day.
Kids
But he
Yeah,
doesn't
that
have a
shit.
day named after him.
Look at Trump. He's not paying
He
his
didn't have
taxes.
a holiday.
Bro,
Yeah,
he
not
has
yet, 'cause
libraries.
he hasn't been out
He
yet.
has streets. He has missions across the
Oh,
globe.
yeah. You guys, when we go to Dallas,
Missions,
when we
I don't
go,
know what I'm
when we go to Dallas, we always go to, well, this is HW, but George or Bush,
He put the H in front of the W.
the turnpike. Yeah, George W. Bush.
The Herbie Jr.
Oh, no, it is W. It was W.
Yeah, that new the W Turnpike down there in
Yeah.
Dallas. Yeah.
But I guess, like, so what's our whole point of doing this? So I see that Bryce talked on for the next 50. The fact that we're going to do another 50, I'm
Yes.
so pumped and excited because now, after 50, I can finally start swinging the bat. Like, I feel like I'm loose. I'm not too
Batter's
loose. It's
up.
like a mid-game feel. You
He's
know?
the first to swing.
Um,
Home run.
Yeah, batter up. I'm the first to swing.
No, I'm excited to grow and to diversify our game and to
Yes.
evolve and learn
get people to
from
fill
these
in for
last
us when we're
50
traveling.
and do better interviews. You know,
Yes.
be
Yeah.
more well prepared.
We're going to be on the go, fellas. Like,
And-
out of these next 50, we're going to be
Yeah,
probably some
do
in
remote
another
interviews.
nation.
Oh, yeah.
That's something that'll be fun as well, to be able to go somewhere else and transfer all of our equipment effectively and efficiently
That's why you got the
Yes.
bag.
elsewhere.
But going to the people to get their interview live where they're at, rather than having them either have to come here or only being able to call in on the phone.
Yeah, we just need
Like-
a 1-1 number.
Shit,
Like,
everybody
whether it's
who-
like 611 and that's AT&T, 411 that's info, something 11 to where we just pull up and go. Like, it's an Uber podcast media marketing service. And then if you like
That's
us,
quite the service.
if you like us, we'll give you access to, or not give you.
VBLD.
We'll just show you VBLD and see
show you
what
the
you
Yellow
like.
Brick Road,
But I mean,
take you behind the curtain.
shoot. So this is documented 8 months
8 months?
off the record.
What?
what we're doing here.
How long has this been going
Probably
on?
8,
8, right?
6.
What? Since, I don't know.
We
Not-
started
not-
October to November.
I don't think it's been 8.
November
I think
to
6. 7.
7.
7 months.
It's the age of Aquarius. You're supposed to tell us, asshole.
Well, I was gonna say 8, but it's not May yet, so I just let you figure it out. You fucking Capricorn.
Hey, I'll be at 29.
Pessimist.
You go ahead and chill back there.
dude.
So
I
our
hope I-
You understand the role that
episode
Geminis
1
play in the age of Aquarius.
in
yeah,
case-
I know.
in
You
case
guys teach
anybody
us how
was
to pour the
listening
water
or
or some
wondering.
shit. Just
So-
you teach us how to spill the
Pour
water.
it on yourself.
You just drop the vase and it just.
I'm about to drop a
Splashes.
vase and start smashing stuff. September 25th, 2018 was our first date.
Oh shoot,
Very first
That is right.
episode. Now, that was the trailer. So,
dude.
technically, it's we didn't actually get started until even a little bit later than that. Our first actual episode 1, that thing dropped sometime in September. I don't know why I can't find the date on this one now.
It's you say 25th, or we did one before that?
Yes, the 25th, I believe.
Dude, our streams right now, we have 209 is our highest, and that's episode 3.
Bada bing, bada boom. Is that on what platform is that?
I think
This
on
is SoundCloud.
So it doesn't keep our full.
Doesn't do everything.
Yeah, and that's what makes it so frustrating trying to keep up with podcast
Ooh.
analytics is they just need to be all in one place.
So when did you just give up on analytics and just stick to content and creation? Because, you as a producer, and then
Yes.
Bryce as a co-host, and myself, like, we can get caught up in this stuff. Like, we got caught up in social media, whether we want to admit it or not. Like, you have to dive into the game of
You
social
have to
media.
engage. You have to engage in social media.
Great word.
Yes, I would say when it just became all about content for me, probably after the first 10 episodes, I was so nervous on the way that we were going to be received on either positively, negatively, didn't matter. I just was,
100%.
we're
Same.
just putting ourselves out there, and I didn't know what people were going to think. I didn't know if people were going to hate it or love it or somewhere in between, I figured would be more likely. But it was a lot of positive feedback that we got, and
I was surprised by the amount of feedback.
Yeah, oh,
Positive
yeah.
side. Obviously there's the I wouldn't say negative. It's just we took that feedback and ran.
It showed me how important it was as a creator to receive that positive feedback so
Yes.
early on, man. I was receiving like complimentative messages and text messages
And that's what-
about the
yeah.
podcast, and that made me that kept me going.
Yeah.
That keeps you prepared for the next one.
Yes.
Because you have no idea how draining it is.
When
I
you're
can't even
working your
imagine
ass
having to
off in
listen
every
to-
other regard.
Yeah.
Because when people start reaching out and saying, hey, I really enjoyed that one, when's the next one? Or if for whatever reason, because our schedules are so hectic, half the time we say it's going to be Monday, Thursday, it'd be Tuesday, Friday, or we'd have 3 bonus pods come out and in a row, whatever it was. People would be like, hey, when's the next episode coming out? Or, oh man,
Those
I
little
wanted that.
things like
Like,
that
it's
would
just
keep
the
you
Dude,
tiny
I'm about to
things, and
cry.
I'm
Like
like,
Cho,
yes.
like Cho saying,
Yeah,
I listen to you guys every day on the way to work.
Yes.
Huh, for
Like,
real.
you know how much that means that Cho is listening?
Huge.
He's listened to 50 episodes, and that's like over, hundreds of hours of content on top of like all of our social media posts. And he goes, I feel like you guys are with me every day.
That's so cool, too.
And like, I have chills and like,
And that's why I felt that episode worked really well. He was able to flow directly in with us because he knows
He knew us
what we were
already.
about. Exactly.
And he
I've
might have
never
known.
met the guy.
Right, he knew
person,
who you were.
but he knew
not
me.
who you were, but knew you. Like
Right.
because he had listened to your voice, know how you react, and like that was great.
That was really cool.
Great episode.
And shout out to Cho as well.
oh, Cho.
Getting all emotional.
What do you guys?
Fuck me, dude.
What do you guys look forward to over the next 50 the most? I suppose.
Crying. A lot more.
I think for me, I'm looking forward to the connections that we're going to make. I think the people that we were able to come into contact with this first go around, I guess, they're great. I mean, fantastic interviews, guests that we were able to talk to. The phone interviews that we've been able to get so far have been great. I'm looking forward to those, turning them into, like I'm saying, live on location, getting to talk to these people face to face. I think the interview is just better, and you can vibe with people better, obviously, when you're actually sitting there next to them rather than 1,000 miles away over a telephone.
Agree.
So that's what I'm looking forward to, is just continuing to meet people, connect, and just let people know what VIBELAND is all about, because
Hell
that's
yeah,
what this
brother.
is all about,
I'll second that one, man.
Yeah, because, shit, I'm done crying like a little baby back read.
Been working
like-
our asses off, bro. We've
but-
invested a lot into what we do here, man.
Yeah. Shit, you're right about that. I'm still trying not to cry.
Bro,
Fuck.
It is-
What day is it?
we made it a long way, bro. Like we've learned a lot, and we're gonna keep growing. The next 50 is gonna be
Oh, I can't even say it, but say it for me. Just tapping into OKC more.
100%. Being able to engage with the community and involve ourselves in community outreach here at VIBELAND is incredibly important to us. As Free Water Fridays, for example, where we just simply take a Friday to go hand out free water in various parts of the town or the city, as well as haircuts for the homeless. These are all things that May 24th, if you'd like to join us, speaking of Free Water Fridays, hit us up on Instagram. We'd be happy to have you out there and involved in the project. We're going to be meeting a lot of great people and engaging with the community. But that outreach, different organizations, small businesses,
We are not
individuals,
just a podcast.
No
we are
doubt.
not, and that's the best thing about it, right?
Mhm.
Like when we turn off our mics, whatever we say, we know that whatever we said is going to get done or is in the process of. And knowing that is like the best feeling, I guess.
Oh, yeah, man.
Or I know, but I'm just guessing because I want people to know I know, I guess.
This has been it's just been an incredible ride. It's been a great journey, I think, from where we were. I looked it up, got the actual date. October 1 was our very first episode all the way back in October.
That's
From
crazy.
Yeah, from there to where we are today, to hit episode 50, to have all these different people that we've come into contact with, just these interactions that we've created, just from having this where the three of us get down, just sit down and talk and about whatever is on our mind that day, about whatever topic interests us, and try to make it as entertaining as possible for the listeners as well, obviously. But just everyone that's listening or viewing, just a big shout out to you guys, because that's what this is really all for, is putting out content that we hope people are going to vibe with, that they're going to be, they're going to want to learn more about us. And this is kind of just that shiny, or the squeaky bell, whatever it is, something shiny to get people to look over at VIBELAND. And because that's what it's really all about, guys. What we are doing on the VIBELAND Inc. side of things with VBLD, with creating the app that is going to be really revolutionary, and with everything that's happening from a charity foundation side, from whether it's Free Water Fridays, the VIBELAND Foundation. There's just so much happening here at VIBELAND. This is our chance to share what is going on directly with the listeners and the viewers for this special episode. And so ultimately, that's why I think the Vible has really been something that I've enjoyed for all these first 50 episodes, because we know what this is. And I think as long as we don't lose sight of that and realize that this is our way to connect with the community, with our community, it's really... that's what it's all about. And
Yes,
I don't know if I have any more
No.
words to say.
I mean, that's it. And
I'm
if you
kinda
don't believe
running-
us, Google us and pull up and knock on the door.
Pretty goddamn good place to leave it, I say, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Love you guys, for real.
Love
Thank
you guys, man.
hey, love, fellas.
On to the next 50, eh?
100%.
Gonna keep shooting bangers, boys?
I pray to God.
That's,
before we have to
that's gonna
gangbang
do
on
it for our
some
show.
Dumbass.
Subscribe to the Vible to make sure you never miss an episode. And follow us on social media at the Vible Podcast and at VIBELAND Inc. on all platforms. The links are in the episode description. Once again, if you are listening to this episode and you'd like to go back and watch it later, check us out on our YouTube channel. Also, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, and visit vibeland.io for more information about the VIBELAND project. That's VIBELAND.io. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day and vibe on.
I'm on the way.
Yeah.
I'm on the way. I'm on the way. I'm on the way. Tell her I'm on the way. Tell her I'm on the way. Wait, no, I'm on the way, man. I'm on the way. I'm on the way.